Hello and welcome. I'm Annette Reeder from thebiblicalnutritionist.com, and today I'm going to show you what I have been doing for the last 4 months. And I did it for a purpose, and I did it because I wanted to show you how you cannot be caught up in the limited income mentality. You can actually see God at work in many fascinating ways. I have been wanting a greenhouse, and yet I wanted to not interfere with our budget. I didn't want it to interfere with our daily income, our daily expenses. I wanted it to be free. I wanted it to be free because I wanted to show you that we don't want to limit how God wants to bless you. And so I am showing you today my greenhouse that my husband and I built. My neighbor came over and helped us a little bit, and we did it, and it is so adorable. I'm going to show you my greenhouse, and then I'm going to walk you through how we built it. And I want you to look at this. We paid less than $300 to build this greenhouse. Now you could have done it less than that. My girlfriend, hers was under 100. She did a much better job. I just got a little bit too carried away with some of the extras. So here is what I want to show you today is my greenhouse. And there you have it. It even comes with a sheltie. No, it doesn't really. You don't get the sheltie, but you can come and visit my greenhouse. I think it's just adorable. It's kind of like a dollhouse for me. And it's not exactly what I had envisioned. In some ways, it's actually better. I was able to just keep going back to this commercial greenhouse that was being torn down and going back for more materials. When we needed something else, I'd go back and I'd say, Lord, we need this treated lumber, and he would show me the treated lumber. You can see we even added a lean-to on the side. We have, our grill stored there, and it just, I hope you like it as much as I do. I'll take you inside here. I just want to give you a glimpse of the outside. So the windows, the doors, the wood, all of this was recycled material. I did have to buy the panels. And then the shed is more bought materials. But as far as the greenhouse, it's almost 100%, I would say 75% all recycled materials. You ready to go inside? Before I do, even the landscaping that I put in last weekend is all plants that I've moved from other areas of my yard. The mums we used at Sukkot. And then I even have, I did buy this, my little watering can that lights up at night. It's so cool. All right, let's go inside. So here we have my door that I picked up on Facebook Marketplace. We go inside the flooring. I'll share more about that later. And here is the greenhouse. Tell you a little bit more. I've already started planting. So I've got some cabbage, some chard, some kale. My peppers haven't come up yet. I moved a few of my tomato plants that were still growing in the yard. We have some more chard here. Squash is going to be coming up soon. I'm trying to grow some fig seedlings there. Some of my flowers from the front porch, I brought them in so they don't get caught in any freeze. My geraniums, my ferns. I'm going to share more of the walls and stuff as we go through this. And then I'm so excited, my cucumbers are coming up. I love cucumbers. And then, of course, I had to add a little thermometer in here. And back there, I brought in one of my strawberry plants. I wanted to see if I could have strawberries this winter. And if that works, I'm going to be bringing in a lot more of them. So I transplanted one of my tomato plants from the yard. So you can kind of see what I'm started with. I got some basil coming up there, and some parsley, and green beans will be coming up next. So here, this is actually a door going into the attached shed. And so I use bits and pieces that I recycled from the greenhouse and just use that to kind of decorate the door, to make my chalkboard. And then I have another sign back there for vegetables, got my ferns. And then again, we just use recycled material. We use some of the watering pipes up here for our hanging plants. And then I brought some of my hanging plants in. And then you can see we built some shelves. You can see the gravel down below, so everything I water on the shelf is going to go straight down into the ground. I don't have any solid flooring that's going to get ruined. And yeah, so this is my greenhouse. Yeah, the paint job on the inside, I have not finished that. I'll do that next spring. Got to do some touch-ups over here. These casement windows will crank out and open up to allow for fresh air. I'm still looking for some screens to put in there. Always looking on Facebook Marketplace or other places where I can salvage more material. This was just a lattice that they had for decoration at the commercial greenhouse where I got all of my materials. And just some of my, canisters and things like that. Now, it didn't always look this good, so let me take you back to the beginning of how we put this together. Well, it is actually going to happen. This is the starting point of my greenhouse. It doesn't look very big, but it's actually 10 by 8. And so far, Steve and I have done the first part of the job, which is getting the gravel down for the base. Now you can kind of see we used cardboard. We used 2 or 3 layers of cardboard on the base just for the weed protector. And then we used some wire mesh for critter control. So no, I don't want anybody getting into the greenhouse except for me and anyone I invite. Well, here's my greenhouse as of today. My husband says it looks more like something somebody would tear down versus build up. But all of these boards have been salvaged from other places, and they're gonna work perfectly fine. Even when you see the boards that are trimmed, you can see the inside is such a solid core of a board, and I'm always happy to use salvage material, no matter what my husband thinks. So when we get done, this whole place will be cleaned up. It looks pretty messy right now, and as you can see, I've started painting. I'm trying to get it painted before the windows go in and before the door goes in. It's gonna look adorable. Now, when your cup matches your paint, does that mean you're using too much of this color in your life? What is your thoughts on this? Okay, here's the update on our greenhouse, or my greenhouse. It's really gonna be more of a she shed, garden shed. I painted all of the boards thinking that the blue was gonna show through. Well, then we realized we've got to put siding on the outside, so we had pre-painted the siding gray for the shed that's going behind it. We ended up using those boards. Not sure if I'm gonna keep them gray or if I'm gonna change them to another color at this point. Then I got something, oh well, you can kind of see back there we have the cinder blocks in place to add the shed on. We're putting a 10 by 14 shed back there. And yeah, I know it looks like we live in a redneck part of town, but it's just a mess with construction. But I got something really cool to show you. We've got it covered up with tarp just because it keeps raining. But I have one of my shiplap walls up. I'm so excited about this. So this is kind of the back wall that's the doorway that goes into the shed. And that wall is over there is gonna be shiplap as well. So you can kind of see we got all the boards in place for the roof material to go up. I'm looking for some plexiglass to go up there. This is gonna be a casement window here. And over here, this is gonna be all windows, and then looking for the plexiglass to go up there. So you can kind of see what it's looking like now. But yeah, I'm just so super stoked about this wall here. I just think I was going to paint it, but I'm thinking it looks too cool in the natural brown. So I'm gonna leave it like it is. And like I said, that wall is gonna be the same. So cool. Now, what I'm doing tonight is this. I have these pavers that a landscaping friend of mine gave me. So I'm trying to put in a paver for the bottom of my greenhouse. A little bit upscale for a greenhouse. Mostly you just have gravel. But that's why I'm saying it's going to be kind of a she shed. So, okay, that cushion is there for Trixie, who is really hot and breathing hard because she just chased me on the four-wheeler. And praise the Lord for the four-wheeler. It's hauling all the heavy material. So there you go. That's the update for today. Okay, update on the greenhouse. Yes, still no windows, no doors. We will get there. Still a mess out here, but we did add on the flooring for our shed. So we went ahead and poured the foundation, put the cinder blocks in, let that sit for a couple days. And then last night we worked for about an hour and a half with the help of our contractor, Jeff, who lives next door, and he built this flooring. We were also trying to determine where should we put the door to our shed. So we had to determine how are we going to fit the lawnmower and the 4x4 in here. So we now have our door figured out, and that will go up this weekend, and all the walls will go up, and we'll start looking like we're making progress. So yeah, so I was gifted with this 4x4, and now we get to build something to store it in. So it's kind of fun. And that's our lawnmower we've had since about 2000. Actually, since 1990s, I'm not sure, somewhere in the 1990s we got that. Still running strong. You know, they say nothing runs like a deer. So anyway, so we got this in. We used really good high quality plywood for the flooring because it's got to support the weight of these two items plus whatever else we put in here. We use 2x6 support beams and can't wait to get going on the next phase. Well, a lot has come along on the greenhouse and we've now added the shed onto it. Steve and I installed the front 2 windows yesterday, or actually last night. You can see we got some roofing panels on. We still have our windows to install over here. And then we have our casement window installed on that side. So all recycled materials, so it's kind of fun. Back here, we've added on a shed. We're still working on that too. And you can see my shiplap walls on the inside. I'm so happy about those. And then my floor I put in. So yeah, it's coming along. Steve and I are working really hard. Over here, we're just trying to put up some more of the siding and then we're gonna add trim today. So I'm so excited about this. It's really coming along well. We're also gonna put up some trim on the sides of the greenhouse. So I'm painting them first. I was able to get all of this recycled exterior wood, treated wood, and now I'm painting it just so it's white and pretty, and all of this was recycled, so I'm pretty excited about that. Well, we worked really hard on Saturday to do some more work. You can see I showed you this before. We already got these windows in. I kind of painted the trim to make it a little bit better. There was blue showing through and I decided, okay, I'm not really fond of that. And then over here we got these 4 windows in. Turns out the other windows that we have, when Jeff framed this, we just didn't have enough space on the wall to put the full 8 windows in. So now I'm going to be looking on Marketplace for 4 more windows. Otherwise I'll have to do an alternative and I really don't want to. So we've got most of the roofing on. You can see we got a clear panel there. We got all of the metal. We got the doors completely finished. And so that's looking really good. Over here on this side, we've got the trim board at the top and that's where we're going to butt up these clear panels. So here we're going to have clear panels on this side of the casement window and on that side. And then over here, we're going to be adding our lean-to. So because he had to build a bridge from the shed to the greenhouse, we kind of have this openness up here, which I kind of like. And then we'll be putting some shelving in and things like that. So I'm really liking that. We still had to put the ridge cap on top to stop the critters and also the water from coming in. But I so love these clear panels and the light that they allow in. If you've never built a shed before, this is what Jeff learned this week, is he put a stop here at the top. And so this stops the doors from, you know, coming in further than they should. So they come in and they, you know, this first one will hit right there on that board. And then the next one obviously is gonna come in like that. Of course, we don't have the trim yet, so you can still see some daylight. But that stop board, that board right there, is just really smart. So we're pretty happy about him realizing that. So when this room is done, I'm gonna have a shelf from the shiplap wall straight across along that blue ledge over to this window. And I'm also gonna be putting another one at this blue level. And then at the top, we're gonna have a hanging rod. So it's really coming along. It's taken us a while. We're not the quickest, but we do this in the time that we have. And it's working. So there we have it. Because we're spending so much time on building that, which we don't have a lot of extra time, I have not had garden time. So you can see I am growing the best weeds possible. I do have some cucumbers, you know, struggling through and giving me a little bit of a delight every once in a while. I got a great cucumber there and another one over there, but you can see, oh, I got some purple basil that popped in my garden that I didn't plant, so I'm excited about that. I've got tomatoes everywhere. Tomatoes, tomatoes, tomatoes. Most of these, except for these tall big boys over here, all the other tomatoes have been volunteers. So my garden is a mess this year. My basil has bolted. And so I do get a few watermelons over there, but it has not been the best gardening year.
Well, there you have it. I just wanted you to see that when you just put something before the Lord, you say, Lord, you know, show me how we can make this happen. Show me, you know, if this is your will, how you can help me find the supplies that I need. And that's what I did. I just kept putting it before the Lord. The contractor would say, hey, you need some of these boards. And I'd say, well, we don't have those. And he would say, well, we're going to need these by next Saturday. So I'd go back to the greenhouse that was being demolished, and I would go and look, and sure enough, I would find what I was looking for. And it was always free. And it's just such a blessing to really put things before the Lord and say, Lord, where can I get this? How can I save my budget and be able to pick this up? And so I really hope that's a takeaway that you can learn from this. And maybe you'll be able to build a greenhouse in your backyard. It might even look a lot better than mine, but I'm happy with how it turned out. It's definitely homemade. It definitely has that custom appeal to it. And I just know it's going to be a joy to enjoy the warmth in the middle of winter and enjoy fresh greens and just different vegetables throughout the winter. But most importantly, being reminded that God does give us the desires of our heart, especially when we're focused on serving Him first. Thanks for watching, and thank you for letting me share with you my greenhouse. I hope you enjoyed the tour, and I hope you enjoyed learning how to trust God in everything.